All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Building Bodies, Strengthening Minds. My name is Steve Warren, your humble host, who just sort of drives this old bus. These are the guys in the bus. These are the guys that propel everything. It is Joe Sabusco to my right. How are you, Joe?
Good. You, Steve?
I'm very good, thank you. Tony Greco is here.
Doing good, Steve.
Excellent. I didn't even ask yet, and I'm glad you're doing good.
I'm just doing a mic check here at the same time. Fist.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. How are you, Gino Melito?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking.
Excellent. We had a great show last week. Lots accomplished. I'm keen to know if because as we're recording this, it is Halloween. So we may get occasionally interrupted by doorbells and things, but we're probably in good shape.
I always have treats, Tony.
All right. We're all going to eat chocolate bars, Tony. What do you think of that?
I got treats.
I don't want to hear your treats, Joe, please.
All right. So today's show, we're talking about testosterone. We're talking about modern medicine. And the third was?
The beliefs in people.
The beliefs in people, yeah. So we'll begin today with testosterone, and that's certainly for guys hovering around our age. That's something that obviously lowers with age, and the more of it you have, obviously, the better you're feeling, the better you're looking, all that. And you wanted to tackle the issue of testosterone. Yeah,
I do, Steve, because there's a lot of guys as they get past the age of 35, and they start to put a little bit of belly fat, and people genetically, again, like if you're a big guy, you're gonna look a lot bigger.
Gino's over there posing for our YouTube listeners.
No, well,
you're talking about me.
I mean,
come on.
Belly fat is a big one. You get tired, you lose motivation, libido, your sex drive. I mean, I remember, speaking to a doctor, it's like if you wake up in the morning and you're not kind of ready to go, then that's your first indication that you have low testosterone, right? So,
it's an indication to change your wife. Has nothing to do with testosterone.
That's what I love about this.
It's what's next to you.
Say what comes in mind.
I'm sure if she was 23, your fucking libido would be up, no?
I love it.
That's
so
not
natural.
True.
It's so natural.
So natural.
Back to testosterone.
Yeah. So naturally it declines, right?
Yeah.
And this is an indication where people get all this mixed feeling because they're like, oh, well, you gotta do this and you gotta do that, but ideally, what you have to do is get some blood work done and get your doctor to read what we call your free testosterone. That's the testosterone around your body that gets into the cells. So if that's low, I think the range is like 300 to 800, something like that. I'm not a doctor, but I think that's the range. If you're in that range, it's pretty good. But if you're below that, doctor's going to tell you, okay, something is off here, right? So there's a whole bunch of different doctors out there you could go and see for hormone therapy, but I think it's a big thing. And same with women too. I'm not going to get into the whole estrogen and progesterone thing, but testosterone is a key thing because I only want to talk about it because people that have a problem losing a lot of their belly fat.
He pointed at you.
I didn't mean to point at you, but the minute you get on some natural testosterone is then people start to lose it. I have a client who's
what do you mean by when you get on natural testosterone? Is that a pill or is that something?
No,
is that working
it can
out?
be taken in the form of an injection, in the form of a cream, but and you just have to rub it on your, I guess, either your testicles or your chest. The doctor will and you absorb it.
I heard that.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because I actually have a client, because we do hormone therapy with a doctor we use, Dr. Michelle. And he's going to be on the podcast, and his blood work and the way he looks is just, well, you'll see. I guess the good listener will see once we get him on. It's unbelievable, Steve, how great he looks. That's our good friend Matt Robinson. Unbelievable. So he said, this is why I wanted to talk about it, because here's a guy who's, busy guy throughout the day like everybody else, and his whole life has just done a 360 change for the better because you're feeling so much better about yourself.
Wow. Can you get it? Can your body kick back in with more testosterone if you start weight training or anything?
A little bit, it does, but not nearly enough as you need.
Okay.
And people that are out there going, "Oh, mine's okay," bull. It's not okay. Like genetically, you could have good genes, and a decline will be a decline, but you're still declining. Is my point. Like you're not going to hold on to it. That's why you need to uplift it.
Well, not everybody needs testosterone, right? I mean, everybody needs, no matter what age.
Yes. You do.
So
that's
it
your
starts
main
declining.
hormone.
I read about it starts declining when you turn 20, actually. It starts going downhill, but not as, like you said, I think most people, as you get older, declines a lot more.
Well, that's part of the aging process too, right? It's
exactly.
Like, we're programmed to age and die, and this is a way of sort of
You're
countering
kidding me.
that.
We're going to die?
I know.
Come on.
Well, there was some people that, and these are just based on tests that the doctor was telling me that, like you said, like 20-year-olds that are like very low in testosterone, which is crazy because, yeah. And then there was some people that were like 25, 30 had the testosterone of an 80-year-old man. Anyways, I mean, I think it's best you go do blood work, go see your doctor, and I mean, they'll give you the proper reading, but you will see a big difference, and you'll feel better.
Do you see a big difference? Are you?
I'm going to go do my blood work. I've actually been one of those lazy guys that haven't done it yet. Okay. I mean, I know all about it because I worked in a clinic and I pre-screened people that came in to do the work. And it's time that I do it now. So I'm actually going to go and do it. I've just been pretty much lazy to wait in line in the morning to go get blood work, but I'm going to go do it. And I want to do this because I think it's very, very important for men and women for everything, including moods, which is a big thing. That's a big thing. Mood change.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of what this costs?
Yeah. So the initial consultation is about $90 because OHIP unfortunately doesn't cover some of the tests that they require you to do because you want to get a whole panel of testing, your vitamin D and all the stuff that I guess when you go do your regular blood work, you're not required to take, but you want to go above and beyond that. And now I've been hearing, I don't know about you guys, but I've been hearing more and more about not private health, but people that are like actually have doctors that, in their hands that they can kind of like get whatever they need right off the bat, right? I mean, unfortunately, there's a price to pay for that, but I mean, what's your health worth, right? So, it's usually, I think, $90 for the blood work. And then there's a $210 consultation with the doctor, then any prescription that you need to follow up whatever the results are. And that could vary from whatever, all depends.
And I guess the big question would be, is it safe in the big picture? Are there any side effects? Or?
Very safe because it's monitored. And that's what the misconceptions. People are like, oh, you're on testosterone. Does that mean you're on steroids? Well, no, you're not, because that's why you have to get it monitored by a doctor, because they're not giving you these anabolic steroids injections like some of these guys have been on that don't look human, right? You know which people those are. They just don't look human, right? Yeah, so, I mean, whereas like a lot of this is very, very minimal. It's just enough to kind of like reboot the battery a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
do you think? Let me ask you a big, sort of a big picture question that's off topic, but I guess it's a little associated. Like, do you think at some point we're going to, with technology like this, the science, are we going to live to 150, 200 years old?
I think so. Yeah, I think you'll be. Well, people are living longer right now, So I think you will. And I mean, I don't know how much energy and stuff you're going to have, but I think the longevity is going to be increasing for sure.
Joe, are we going to get you on testosterone?
This guy wants to live to 150. Steve.
That's not true. I just want to live healthy.
At 50, he says he's got to go do testosterone. Can you imagine at 150? Who the fuck wants to live that long?
Well, if you're living healthy, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you want to live that long?
To do what? So imagine doing 150 years here.
I could, but I'm sure it wouldn't be healthy.
Why wouldn't you want to live? Why wouldn't you want to?
Well, everybody that would be gone.
Time is done.
Think about it. Your kids, your grandkids.
Your time is done, buddy.
150. I think if you live a healthy life up to
fucking 80, you're good.
Even 100, I think you're good. If you can live a healthy life.
First of all, the government won't sustain you. Fucking
as long as you're healthy, you're able
all that
to walk.
pension. There's more pension than life there.
You can't look at it like that, though.
Well, that's how the government's looking at it. That's why there's no more doctors.
No, but living, you should be.
What do you want to live that up to, Joe?
Whatever.
Don't you want to live a
but
healthy
I'm just
life?
saying, like, look at the governments. Look how smart they are.
Well, what are they doing?
Well, look, you got no more doctors for a reason. How long do you think they want you around for? Well, if you're 90, that's 40 years of pension, right? That's more pension than actual work.
Of course, the retirement age will be later if you're living longer.
So the fuck they don't want to pay you now. Could you imagine when you're a senior? Like, they got to keep paying you till you're 95 because you're healthy, and they're still sending you. They're sending you that fucking check for life.
We have an issue with the healthcare system, and I'm hoping
for that reason,
the governments, all levels, are doing
for that reason. And it's not true. People are not living longer.
I can't find a doctor. My doctor, unfortunately, just retired, and I can't find a doctor nowhere. Like, there's no doctors to be found anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, wait in line. There's a lot of people like you. But yes, I hear that more.
Yeah, because people think they're going to live forever, and governments are making sure you're not.
Well, that's the reason why the hospitals are all full, because nobody has doctors. So you have a problem, there's an issue, you go to the hospital, so everybody's lining up. You're literally waiting there for hours and hours, sometimes days, before an actual doctor sees you.
A doctor.
My son-in-law just went to hospital today, as a matter of fact. It's funny we're talking about this. He had a heart issue, and he went to the hospital, and he just got to see a neurologist because it was a heart issue. About half an hour ago.
And he's young, eh?
And he was there since this morning.
And he's
young. It's
a
heart issue.
And he's young,
only
eh?
42.
Wow. See?
Yeah.
More and more.
He's 39.
More and more heart.
Sorry, Elvis.
More and more heart. You hear more and more heart people, like people having heart problems. More and more.
Yeah. But just the waiting time at the hospital is
I think it was
insane.
That fucking COVID shot.
It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. It's not free healthcare. Because there's no healthcare.
And the reason why, too, about testosterone, Steve, is because people got to remember that if you're following a very healthy lifestyle change, and nobody's perfect, but if on a scale of 1 to 10, even if you're a 7 or an 8, you're following it pretty good, you're hydrating properly, you're exercising, you're still not feeling that great, there's an internal issue. I can bet you that. You'll thank me for this. I'm telling you that right now. Just from past experience of clients. Go get your blood work done. Get a doctor that reads proper hormones. So a lot of MDs don't do that. They don't want to dab into that. That's another thing too. It's not that, but people go, yeah, my doctor does that. No, they don't. Your doctor doesn't do that. Your doctor doesn't do it because an MD can't do what the hormone therapist can do. And neither their license won't even allow them to do that, because now you're dabbing into a whole different thing. So people go, yeah, my medical doctor does. No, I don't. I can ask my doctor. They don't do that. So, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later on the show, but I think people are becoming their own doctor now, because you have so much resources out there that you could do things that you normally couldn't do before.
So, second issue today, as you just alluded to, modern medicine.
Mm-hmm.
What about modern medicine is that you want to tackle today? Exactly.
Whoa.
What is the third leading cause of death in North America?
It's the third
Does
leading
anybody know? And it's not McDonald's.
We're saying modern medicine?
Modern medicine is the third leading cause of death in North America. It's a Harvard study that was done in 2016. And
the fuck, you really read up on this?
Yeah, I actually did.
Yeah.
You got a lot of fucking time on your hands, eh?
Yeah. It's true. Tony, you can elaborate a little bit more than that, because it's actually true, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, Tony, I understand. He has to read up on this shit because that's where he's in, right? Show me your certificates.
16 of them.
But you, fuck Gino. I mean, all of a sudden you.
Why are you putting me down all of a sudden? I don't understand. What's wrong with learning? What's going on? I want to learn about my health.
But I think the takeaway for this. I think the takeaway for this, Steve, is that people have a headache. Boom, they go take an aspirin. People, have a little cut. They go and put polysporin, or they just, it's like everybody. Everybody.
You don't want them to do that?
No, you do. But here's the thing: a lot of people rely on a pill. I can tell you that. I know a lot. Again, it's like, I got a headache, I got to take a pill, as opposed to try taking a walk with your dog down the street, or just go outside and get some fresh air, and all of a sudden your headache's gone. I'm just saying, it's too easy to rely on that. So if the stats show that a lot of this modern medicine, because again, doctors, again, not to take a stab at doctors, but they're not miracle workers. So you're going to go in there like, oh yeah, I feel this pain, dog. Okay. And all of a sudden, they're going to say, yeah, well, you know what? You got this. They're going to give you a prescription. Then that doesn't work. Then you say, my pain's worse. Well, then they give you okay, you got to go see a knee specialist. Then you go see a knee specialist. Then he's like, I think you have this. Then they send you for an x-ray. Then an x-ray doesn't work. Then you got to go an MRI. There's so much involved in it that all that stuff prior to that might have had effect. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like the damage control. And that's a big problem. I see it more and more. Do you not see that?
We need to stop believing that doctors are miracle workers.
Yes,
they're not.
Exactly.
They go to school, they learn medicine, but at the end of the day, they're experimenting every day with us in our bodies and what's good and what's not. And it's all through experience.
Well, you just can get away with it.
The doctor actually told me, he says, we don't know everything.
Oh, of course.
We learn from somebody else that let's say, for example, a prescription that may have worked.
Right.
But what worked for you may not have worked for me, or what worked for him may have not worked for him. And that's what the doctors experiment on. It's full experiment.
So who are you guys going to if you're sick then?
Google.
Google. Oh, good. WebMD. He'll set you straight.
Everybody. Well, I think you need to be your own doctor more and more today.
Well, at the end of the day, you got the gift to make whatever choice you want to make, right?
Yes.
And as you will go see a doctor because you think that you're trusting someone that has obviously more knowledge than you in that field to say, hey, I've checked you this, I've done this. But at the end of the day, I mean, like Gino said, they're not miracle workers, right? So you're going to take that advice. But a lot of them Google the stuff right on the spot now. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been to your doctor. Did you notice that? They go like this. I actually did. And they Google like, yeah, we're going to give you this. And it's like they almost do the stuff that you're going to do when you leave the doctor's office because you're going to call them back and say, okay, this is the side effects. You know what I mean?
The doctors actually say that.
Right.
They say, people come with all full of information and they think that, going back to the miracle worker part of it, and they think that we're going to be able to provide some miracle to heal you because they come in and everything we've read in Google or social media and everything that's going on in there. And they think, okay, no problem. I'm going to go see my doctor. Here's what worked for ABC. Why is it not working for me? And they think the doctor is going to give you some kind of cure where they're able to provide a pill and say, okay, take this and you're going to be fine. That's not true.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I know they don't know everything. I know they're not miracle workers. I get that. But we're not telling people to ignore doctors' advice, are we?
Oh, no, not at all, because everybody needs advice.
I think anybody here is saying that. Let's make sure we put it out there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
No, nobody's saying that. I mean, obviously, I'm just saying that, like, people have so much more resources and studies out there with the data and new stuff, like, that it makes you kind of wonder sometime, right? So all I'm saying is you have a lot more resources. You could rely on the doctor's opinion that he gave you. So that way it would make you more comfortable doing whatever the doctor's recommending, where normally you wouldn't have that, right? You just go home back in the day, you take your pills, like, yeah, the doctor told me to do this.
Right.
Where now you're Googling everything the next day, the side effects and so on. And then this ingredient, that ingredient. Like, I've done it myself. I'm guilty of this. I'll analyze it. Yeah, we all do it. I analyze the ingredients in some of the stuff and I'm like, what is this? I can't pronounce it. I research, what the heck? That's in this stuff, I would never do that back in the day.
Steve, when you get a prescription, do you not look up and see what it's all about, the side effects, what it does, how it's supposed to work in your body, the healing process and so on?
If I've never heard of it, yeah, I do.
Well, if you've heard of it, obviously you know what it does. But if you haven't,
if I've never heard of it, I will look it up.
But we all do this. I think right now with social media, we can look up anything. Our computer, our phone is a computer, so we look up everything. Yeah. I do. I know I do, and most people I know do that as well.
Yeah, I think some good discussions need to happen. You get advice. Sometimes maybe you go to a second opinion from another doctor and maybe you do a little of your own research. I just watched on Netflix that documentary. It's not a documentary, I guess, but it's a true story about OxyContin.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? It was like all the doctors
what's that called? I forgot.
Yeah. They're prescribing. People got addicted to it.
There were two different versions of it. One was a true documentary. The other one was sort of a Hollywood style telling that story. And the addiction level was off the charts. Insane. But every doctor who prescribed it did so in good faith and thought it was really good for you. It's this pain. This guy's got pain. Got to give him this pain relief, and he feels great for like a couple of months, and this stuff was stronger than heroin in terms of its addictive nature. And so people were overdosing on it. It was awful. And so I still, we're not steering anybody away from doctors, but, you can have discussions about what's been prescribed for you.
Sure.
Well said, actually.
All right. What about you, Joe? You got a bad knee going right now.
Oh, yeah, but this has been going on for a while.
How are you handling it?
Just put creams and shit on it, and that's it.
Creams and shit on it.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I'm wondering if you went to the doctor or not.
Yeah, you go to a doctor, they tell you it's arthritis, they inject you, and you go home.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with Joe. I mean, it's the common thing that you're taught that has to be done. That's the issue, right? And everybody's body's different, but he nailed it. That's exactly what they'll do. But look, there's some form of arthritis. I can't put you on cortisone because you're too young and you want the inflammation, but I can give you Duralene, which is $600, and we can inject that. How long does that last? Maybe 6 months, maybe a month, maybe 3 months, a year. I don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. And then what else is
glorified drug dealers? Anyways, they get commissions on their pills that they prescribe. So,
that is not true in all cases, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's it's actually true. It's actually true. They make money on your prescription. The doctors,
but not everybody's doing it from the perspective of I don't care about you. I just want to make money.
Well. I speak to a lot of people, and they can't even find family doctors anymore.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah.
Who's not caring? Is it the doctor or is it the government not helping? Which one is it?
Right.
A lot of these doctors are leaving Canada to go work in the U.S. for more money.
Yes,
True.
Exactly.
You know?
And a lot of them are going into, they're not going into that modern medicine. They're going private medicine.
Yeah.
Because.
And then you go visit them. It's like you're bothering them. You go see a doctor. It's like you're bothering them. You're on a time schedule. Yeah, you got 3 minutes. What do you got? Well, I got this and it hurts. No. One thing at a time and that's it. Your time is up.
Joe's right. That actually happened to me.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor.
To my sister. It happened
and I had a problem with my back and I had a sore neck.
Doesn't want to hear it.
No. He
One
said, no,
item.
it's one at a time. Unless you have to come back for the next one. I said, are you joking right now?
Yeah.
So I just waited an hour and a half out there. I was actually very, very pissed and I walked away. I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm out of here.
That's the medication. That's the Medicare we get here in Canada. People say, oh, you're so lucky you live in Canada. Healthcare is paid. You know what? It's not worth anything. It's not worth anything.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I think, there's some merit to our system for sure.
Yeah, what?
Well, come on. There's people who are.
You went for a leg injury not too long ago. How long did you wait? Married to what? How long did you wait when you went for your leg?
16 hours.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you were having an actual heart attack, you would have been dead.
Well, I think that's
so.
Okay,
where
okay.
is that?
In all fairness,
no
to the system, if you're having a system like a chest pain or you're having anything to do with your heart,
they'll make you wait 8 hours.
They'll see you right away.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of that.
They will. But anything else, they will wait. They'll take things in order, basically. But whatever the urgent, right? Whatever's urgent.
Doctor. I have the best family doctor. If you want, I can give you his number. He's a coroner.
Oh, jeez.
That's my family doctor. He's going to see me when I die. He's going to sign me off, and that's it. Off you go.
You're being pessimistic, Joe. Come on.
No, man. It's the truth. Like, the healthcare here in Canada is shit. It's shit.
It has its problems for sure. But if you have a heart attack tonight, who are we calling?
Call whoever you want. Chances are you might not get saved.
Ghostbusters.
We'll call your buddy who delivers frozen meat or
something.
Probably.
They'll come here a lot faster.
Yeah. He won't be able to help you, though.
You know, but
I agree. It has
I don't blame
problems.
the doctors.
It has its problems.
I don't blame the doctors because they're overworked.
Right.
And they're understaffed. I don't blame the doctors. You know, they should give the chance to the doctor to open up their own private practice.
Yeah, a lot of them want to do that.
And they should, and the less fortunate that can't afford like a health insurance, right? Like people that are on disability or the seniors, well, they should have that Medicare. But the people that is working able-bodied should pay an insurance and get premium. You know what I'm saying? And the doctors will be happier.
But is that the problem?
Yes.
Is that really the problem?
I think it is a big problem.
Are we suggesting that if there was an insurance that the system would be much better?
Yes.
And
yes, because the doctors there'd be more doctors because more doctors would want to work.
Yes.
Right? These guys, they go to school their whole lives to make nothing. They work to make nothing. You think that GP makes a lot of money?
Well, think of a fourth liner in the NHL and a open
a
heart
fucking
surgeon.
Little kid there that plays that comes and train with you makes just signed $80 million to chase a rubber puck on the ice for 5 years.
And then the doctor that's saving
kid doesn't even know how to fucking spell his name. And this guy's been in university for 20 years, filling out prescription, listening to people's problems, and he's getting what?
And doing open heart surgery for $400,000.
What are they getting?
Well, I think some of them are making $500,000.
Some of the
nothing.
doctors, but that's probably the specialists.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. Steve.
Well, I've just found out where your tax bracket is.
No, but
$500,000 is nothing.
Well, $500,000 for what these guys do is nothing.
How do you compare? Come on, let's be serious.
Okay,
$500,000. Don't say that it's nothing. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you explain a 19-year-old on a fucking ice that's making $1 million a year? Explain me that one.
Well,
you don't.
He's the best
in a fucking doctor?
No, hold on. So I'll jump in. I can explain that too because it's a business of progress. So you got to remember that $1 million, it's all about, it's a business, right? That $1 million, that guy's the best at his game and he's going to make that franchise, whatever. I'm just going to say $10 million. It's all relevant to money.
A heart surgeon, Tony, in the U.S. does not make $500,000. A plastic surgeon in the U.S. does not make $500,000.
What do they make? Millions?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Is that true, Steve?
I don't have. I didn't come equipped with those stats.
Yeah, most doctors would because it's
yes.
Yeah, because
that's a lot of money if you're talking millions. Like,
but it's not a lot of money for a hockey player to make $2 million a year to chase a rubber puck 6 months a year.
That's a low-end player.
There you go. That's a player you're probably not even going to watch. Just to give you an idea. Make sense of what you're saying. You guys, wow.
But I think
a hockey player.
Okay, listen,
guys.
guys.
A fucking hockey player.
All athletes are looked at what they can bring to the table as far as finance.
Right.
So in other words, if I'm going to pay you $10 million a year,
so when you're on that fucking table, what is that doctor bringing for you? When you're on that table,
your life, I get it.
Thank you.
But
Thank you. You're asking what this NHL's bringing to the table.
Listen, we live in a capitalistic society. And what that means is if you can bring me money to the table and I'm going to make $100 million, I'm going to give you $80 million because I'm still going to make $20 million. It's the value that an athlete brings to the table.
So a doctor has no value.
Of course it does.
That athlete, when he smashes his leg, right? Who's he going to see? Another hockey player.
They've got their own doctors, actually. He's probably making millions, too.
Thank you.
And it feels like we're in a stage now where everybody is more willing or interested in paying the athletes and the NHL players a lot more than they're interested in paying for the doctors because we're thinking it's okay. OHIP's got that covered, no problem. But I mean, there's only X amount of OHIP, and another problem is the number of people who go to see their doctor for a social call who don't really have anything that wrong with them, like people who
That's because of the self-diagnosis on your phone. You just said it. These guys, they're all doctors over here. This guy, that guy, they check on Google every day. My foot hurts. Google tumor, your cancer, fucking heart problem. Your balls are gonna fall to the floor. Let me run to the doctor.
Okay.
Now you go to the doctor. Doctor looks at you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with your head. There's nothing wrong with you. Right? What are those called? Those people that panic. What are they called? What is it called? Well, you fucking know everything. What's it called? That guy who's crazy there who thinks he has every sickness in the world.
Oh, hypochondriac.
Oh, hypochondriac. Yeah.
That's the problem. Everybody's becoming that. Everybody's becoming a hypochondriac. Everybody.
Well, you know what? Everybody does look in social media what
everybody
Googles everything.
Hypochondriac. Everybody.
Doesn't matter what it is. We do. Maybe it's an age thing, but do you?
Am I a hypochondriac?
No. Do you not Google when you have an issue or something's going on? Do you not Google or do you not look up and say, shit, I've got this kind of pain here. I'm going to look it up and see what it could be.
Cancer.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
It's the first thing that comes out. Tumor, cancer.
That's always, it's always on the list though. It can be something like a sneeze.
Yeah.
What is a sneeze a symptom of?
Jeez,
it'd be like cold, flu, but if you get down there long enough, you'll find cancer. Yep, cancer. There's no question. But I do
to
that.
A fucking doctor. You go to a doc, it's like stress. Stress. I could be a doctor too.
Stress can actually kill you. A doctor told me.
Yeah,
I actually asked the doctor, I said, you need to be honest with me. Can stress really kill you? He stopped everything he was doing. He looked at me and says, yes, Gino, stress will kill you.
Yeah, it's true.
And, this was a few years
back.
Heart
disease, it all leads to that, right?
Yeah.
So
it clobbers your immune system.
This fasting thing that you read up on, how does that work? This fasting thing that you read up on.
Well, I did.
Oh, God.
I know that.
So I'm actually doing some fasting. So,
oh, boy.
I invited him for dinner. You know what he says? I'm fasting.
Oh, my God.
So, Dr. Gino, would you like to
I'm not a doctor by any means.
No, I'm calling you doctor.
But what I did was...
Jack of all trades.
But what I did was I read up on Dr. Mindy Letts.
You know,
I hope I'm pronouncing...
Never heard of him.
No, it's actually a lady.
Mindy Letts what? Let's go?
Mindy Letts. That's her name. She's a doctor, Dr. Mindy Letts. And she does this. So she was saying that anything between... Your cells open up based on your fasting. So 12 to 16 hours, there's a certain cells in your body that open up, and then 16 to 24, 24 to 36. And if you can actually go the 48-hour fasting, it actually almost heals your body. There's some healing.
What's the purpose?
There's some healing. Yeah. There's some healing things going on.
What was this?
In your cells? Your cells will get rid of the good cells. Will get rid of the bad cells.
Okay.
And when you actually go back and start eating, and you start eating again, you're going to enjoy your food and much, much better. And then
so you know what's going to happen in 48 hours. I don't have this qualification.
I didn't say I was going 48 hours.
But if you're going to fast 48 hours and then you introduce food to your face, you know what's going to happen?
What?
What do you think?
Going to gain all the weight back.
You have 16 diplomas. Can you explain it to him?
Here's my take on the fasting. I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm not really big on this fasting stuff. I'll tell you why. Okay. I think it's for people that don't have enough discipline. Because here's my take on it. Yeah, you can give me the whole science behind the cells, and I'll challenge any doctor on this. So I really don't care about it, because my theory is everything I've read is food is fuel. Okay, and I mean, yeah, there's certain religions. Sometimes we fast 3-4 days. That's all good. I'm sure, like, to give everything a break, I agree. But I'm saying to live it as a lifestyle. This is just my opinion only, by the way, is that we work on a 24-hour clock. Like, we are machines. It's like leaving your car idling. When you drive it from one destination to the other, you burn fuel. If you're even running in your laneway, you still burn fuel. It's still idling. It's going to burn fuel, not as much. So you need that fuel as fuel. That food as fuel. And if you can't get the proper balance of those 3 nutrients that you need, like the protein, the carbohydrates, and the fats, and hydration with pretty much water, then you're doing something that your body it doesn't normally do. Can you imagine not feeding a dog for 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or 12 hours? Like, you need fuel, because we work on a 24-hour clock. But the problem is that people put the wrong fuel. So what do they have to do? They have to fast. They have to do a low protein, low carb. They got to do this because they don't have enough discipline to follow it. Follow a healthy lifestyle, exercise, and I guarantee you it's a better trade-off than someone that's trying to fast and look at their time. Oh, is it time to eat now? Like, what else is it doing to your brain?
Mm-hmm.
You think about this. You know what I mean? This guy hasn't eaten. I know he loves to eat. He hasn't eaten. He's fasting. He loves to eat.
But
look at him. You don't think he likes to eat?
Tony, this is not a fasting forever. Like,
it doesn't matter.
You do it maybe once or twice a year.
The minute you put food in your mouth, the first thing your body's going to do, store all that fat.
It's going to react.
Because he's going to say, hold on a second, this fucking guy's going to starve me again
Exactly.
for 3 days.
That's right.
Hang on to the fat. People say, Joe, how come you're not fat? Because my body knows I'm going to eat.
He eats a lot, this guy.
Listen, to all the listeners out there, look up Dr. Mindy Letts.
Yeah, let's
what? That's her name, Mindy Letts, Litz.
Is she an actual doctor?
Yes, she's an actual doctor.
Or she just put.
She's an actual doctor. Look her up, and she talks about fasting, and she talks about what it does. The 12 to 16 hours, 16 to 24. I'm not a doctor.
Intermittent fasting.
But I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this and see if it works on me, and see how.
Gino,
Tony
told you.
No, but all I want to do is
eat 3 times a day. Eat 3 times a day. Tony told you this a million times.
He doesn't follow.
He told me 5 times.
Eat 3 times a day.
5 times.
It doesn't matter what you eat. Eat 3 times a day, and you'll see. You won't put on the weight.
But I don't understand something. I'm not disputing what Tony's saying or anyone else. This is something you do maybe quarterly or maybe even biannually. It's not something you do all the time. I'm just trying this to find out if she's right or wrong and how good I feel. And right now, honestly, I feel great.
Let me tell you one thing.
By the way, just an FYI, I'm on 36 hours.
Okay,
Tony.
Let me explain you something. I've transformed about 2,500 people's lives where they've lost weight. I've also done one thing. I say, don't believe me, because I'm not a doctor. You go do your blood work right now. Go ask your doctor right now, and you're going to do blood work. You're going to follow what I tell you to eat. You're going to write down what I tell you to eat, which you can't even write a day's worth, by the way. And then you're going to go and see your doctor in 3 weeks and do that blood work again. They've seen a significant change. You know this. We've had guests on our show on people that have made the transformation, not just physically, but internally. Their blood work, they were more alkaline. They had less acidity in their bloodstream. Why? Because they've turned to really good vegetables, really good source of lean protein, really good fats, hydrated properly. Guess what? They didn't do intermittent fasting. They ate every 3 to 4 hours, and they ate a lot of food.
So hold on, let me get this straight. You're against intermittent fasting as well? So you're against any fasting? You're against any fasting?
No, I'm not against any. I'm not against any fasting. I'm against any kind of dieting. I call it, because there's a restriction there. I'm against anything that stops me from eating. I need fuel. I work on a 24-hour clock. I need fuel. Now, I could choose to put 10 donuts in my mouth. I can choose to put a lean piece of chicken with, green beans and a salad. Okay, so that fuel is different than the other fuel. So I'm against putting the hydrogenated fats in. Exactly. But I still need fuel. So would I rather starve myself for 16 hours? No, I don't believe that. Like, how are you supposed to survive? Now, I know you're going to give me the whole science breakdown of the cells and the hormones, and you'll release more GH and stuff. well, how come there's so many doctors saying it's not good, and then some doctors say it's good? Like, but we all know that we work on a 24-hour clock. We go 24 hours, and food is fuel. That's just my opinion. So yeah, you're gonna get some doctors saying, nope, it's very good. Intermittent fasting the best. You see another doctor going, no, it's not. I'm just being the guy that saw the transformation in people and saw the blood work. Blood work doesn't lie. Go get your blood work done, eat properly, and then go do it again. And then blood work doesn't lie. So don't listen to me. Just go do it yourself.
But hold on a sec. Tony, you're not saying anything different than anyone else as far as, the proper
Well, you
diet.
think intermittent...
No, when I say anyone else, I'm saying somebody who's qualified as yourself. Absolutely, I'm agreeing with everything you said about eating not 10 donuts, but, a piece of chicken or a piece of beef with salad and green vegetables.
So then why are you fasting?
Why are you fasting?
With you.
Why are you fasting?
I'm just doing a temporary fasting right now.
Because you're fasting because you want to lose weight.
I want to lose weight as well.
So, you think
this
fasting
is not an ongoing thing.
No.
Guys that do crack lose weight. So why don't you go do crack?
You think fasting is going to make you lose weight. That's why you're fasting. You honestly believe in your mind that if you do this, you're going to lose weight. Whereas I'm telling you that if you eat well and eat these balanced meals, you don't have to fast. You can enjoy your food, but enjoy good food. You're going to lose weight and you're probably going to have better blood work. That's what I'm saying.
Well, what's crazy is I've been working out with Tony for years right now, okay? Mm-hmm. And my weight has always been the same, literally within a couple of pounds, right?
That's right.
For some reason, I can't lose the weight. So but you
need more testosterone.
The beautiful of the whole thing is the beauty.
That's what it is.
No, but the beauty of the whole thing is that I'm able to maintain the weight, even though I have the odd glass of wine. I cheat once in a while, and we go out and eat. We have good food. We have pizza. We have panini. We have pasta. My weight has always been the same consistently.
I'm not your doctor.
What I'm trying to do is, I believe that if I reach that weight that I want to be, which is, just under 200 pounds, that I can maintain that weight and still enjoy the food that I'm enjoying right now, because I'm able to enjoy the food.
I got the solution.
Immensely. I literally enjoy my food immensely. I don't eat crap. I eat really good food and very healthy food, and you know that, Tony. I don't eat crap. But my weight has always been the same, and I've been trying to get below 200 pounds now for years. And it's within 2-3 pounds all the time.
Okay, Tony's got the solution.
Go ahead.
This is my solution. As if it was a patient, and you should go do this, okay? Number one, you need more testosterone, okay? You need more.
But I can get it up right now. I have no problem.
You need more testosterone because your testosterone is going to burn fat. So you need more testosterone. Number two, your cortisol levels are through the roof and your body's hanging on to fat because whenever your cortisol levels are up, your body hangs on to fat like a security blanket. It senses danger. So it's hanging on. Number three is you need to recuperate properly. You watch too much TV, too much news. You don't have adequate, you don't have sleep.
I watch the news.
Yeah. So those are three things. Those are three main things that you're intermittent fasting, whatever you do, unless you're doing those three things, whatever you do it's not going to help. Those are three things you need. I'm telling you right now. More testosterone. Go do blood work. Do you have a doctor?
I've already showed you.
Do you have your doctor?
Work. Yes.
You do have a doctor?
I did all the blood work.
So your doctor, I'm sure.
No, my blood work just quit like a few weeks ago. So I've done all the blood work. I've done everything.
So
and by the way, the blood work is A1. There's nothing wrong with the blood work. Everything.
Why is it that everything comes out good? I understand one thing. Look at an elephant. Do you ever see a skinny elephant? Never. An elephant is an elephant. The structure is the structure.
Oh, poor Gino.
It eats fucking leaves all day long. Gino, you have a big structure.
He's a mesomorph. It's called a mesomorph.
You're a 200-pound guy. You can never be 160 pounds. If you're 160 pounds, you're sick. Your structure is that. I can never be 240 pounds. My structure won't hold that. You understand?
Tony's over 200 pounds.
A pit bull.
And he looks good.
Can never look like a fucking chihuahua. Understand that. You're built. That's your frame. So you want to accomplish below 200. Not going to happen, buddy.
All right, let's close it out today. Tony, you wanted to have a word about your inner belief system, and you've got an interesting exercise, a little, what we're going to deal in rats, right?
Yeah, well, it goes back to like that phrase, you like this one, Joe. If you think you can't, you can. If you think you can, you're right. So you like that one?
Love it.
Yeah. It's about your inner beliefs.
Hallmark, if you're listening, this is the guy.
No, they did a study back in the 50s. They took rats and they put them in water.
Yeah.
And they started to drown after 15 minutes. So they took these rats out.
Before they drowned.
Before they drowned, yeah. And they dried them off and for about 10 minutes. And then what happened was they put them back in. And after they put them back in, You know how long it took for those rats, how long they stayed in the water?
I'm guessing around 15 minutes.
People would guess that. 60 hours, 2.5 days, because in their mind, those rats thought someone was coming to rescue them. So they kept kind of fighting. So the reason why I want to talk about that is so that each individual out there that, that there's hope in the sense that, you might hit a barrier, you might hit an obstacle, but I mean, if you keep going and keep getting back up with people around you that'll help you, and then once you get a little bit of a taste of it and you know it's there, then, you keep persevering and you'll accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so ultimately, I think what he's saying is don't ever give up. Just keep trying.
What's your takeaway from that, Joe? You all right with that? I like that.
You never,
But isn't this what we're all talking about, is not giving up
Yeah.
in whatever
what
we do?
wise words those are from? What Prime
No,
Minister?
what those
never
rats
give up?
are actually showing you.
Winston Churchill?
You got it. That's pretty good. Sorry, Joe, what
Thank
did you
you.
say?
Well, Mr. Fucking Encyclopedia. But what those rats are trying to show you is that because you're depending, like you think you're depending on. See, those rats in their mind, they were drowning because they didn't depend on anybody to save them. The minute the human picked them out of that bucket, pampered them, dried them up, right? And then threw them back in the bucket, those guys, they already got a taste of
Being saved.
being saved.
Yeah, that's right.
It's about hope.
About hope.
It's about hope. Yes, exactly.
They had
why
none
they weren't
early.
panicking.
Yes.
So for me, the way I see it is if they didn't believe in that hope, they would have survived just the same.
Well, how they're drowning, Joe. How would they survive?
They're drowned after 15
They wouldn't have
minutes.
survived because somebody has to save them, or they would drown.
Yes, I
Literally.
understand that.
So how would they be saved?
How they would be saved? What do you mean?
How would they be saved? Somebody had to save them.
To make them believe.
The first 15 minutes.
So the problem is that the rats didn't believe in themselves.
Well, they did believe it because they went on from
Well,
15
no, they didn't
minutes
believe in
to
themselves
60
because
hours
they were drowning in 15 minutes.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is back to the human intellect knowing
That's right.
that you need to try and keep going and persevere.
That's right.
Right.
Whatever you're attempting.
Because you believe somebody's going to save you.
No,
Because
because
you
you
believe
have it
in your
within
faith
you.
and your hope.
Because you have within you to save yourself.
Okay. Well,
Nobody's going. In fact, nobody is going to save you but
this
yourself.
rat story is too deep for me.
I think you're taking it too literally.
I think so.
I think so too.
But it's a nice thought. I agree. And
That's a good story, Tony.
we'll close it out there. Joe Sabusco,
Yep.
here as always, putting up a fight. Tony Greco to his right, and Gino Melito. Thank you, gentlemen. Great as always, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week. And for anybody, first of all, thank you to everybody who's provided such great feedback to the program, connecting with us. And for those who have not, how can people get a hold of us?
Yeah, training at tgathletics.com. They could send their comments and some of the topics they want us to talk about as well, too.
Very
Plus,
good.
we're going to be doing some live on location,
Yes.
right, Joe? That's a big one.
Some live on location, absolutely.
All right.
We want to do a toy drive.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. I like that.
Talk about it more next week.
Sounds good. We'll talk about that next week. In the meantime, thank you for being with us today on Building Bodies and Strengthening Minds, and we shall talk to you next time.